What's up, Mavericks? Erica Sepola here, writer and editor over at Merchant Maverick. Coming up with a business name sounds easy until you actually sit down to do it. You want something that fits your brand, feels original, and isn't already taken. And that can be really frustrating. Now, AI may seem a little intimidating or maybe even overhyped, but the truth is, tools like ChatGPT can be incredibly useful for business owners. When you know how to use it, it's not about replacing creativity, but it's about speeding up the process and helping you think in new ways. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly how to use ChatGPT, come up with a business name that actually fits your vision and sounds like you. So the first step is to get clear on your brand. Before you even open ChatGPT, take a second to think about what your business stands for. Think about your mission, who you want your audience to be, and the feeling you want your name to give off. By understanding your brand, the brainstorming process is going to be so much easier. Once you've sat down and thought about your brand, the next step is to open ChatGPT and write a solid prompt. Once you're ready, you're going to want to tell ChatGPT what your business is and what kind of names you're looking for. The more specific you are, the better. You want to give ChatGPT enough context to come back with strong, relevant ideas. So as you can see on my screen, I have already come up with a prompt. I was very specific in saying the type of business, a bakery in South Carolina, what I specialize in, other products that I offer. I went on to say that I want everyone to feel like family here. My business is going to be small, warm, and welcoming. We have premium goods, but it's not too exclusive. So it's just great, high quality products for everyone. It's a small business with an in-person shop and an online presence. I want the name to be creative, catchy, and easy to remember. And if we can, I would like to incorporate my first name into the name. I also want something that's going to work well for social handles, domains, etc. Now, your prompt is going to look a little bit different based on what type of business you have. For example, you may have a restaurant and you have a more modern vibe, and that's what you want your name to reflect. So you're going to go in there, you have a restaurant, it's very modern, you want a modern, catchy, clean, easy to remember name. Talk about the types of food that you're going to serve, talk about the types of people that will be coming to your restaurant, things like that. Again, get really specific. You're not going to give it too much information, so anything that you've kind of brainstormed and thought about in regards to your brand, just dump it out right here. So once you have your prompt in, you're going to go and you're going to submit it, and we're going to see what ChatGPT comes up with. So this just says that, ChatGPT has a good idea of our vibe and that we want something friendly, authentic, and easy to brand online. So as you can see, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, and we have a bunch of different names that have they're kind of categorized. So we have like the names that include Erica. We have creative brandable names with or without Erica, names that mix both personal and creative. So we have a bunch to work with. So your next step is going to be to go through and refine the results. Some of the results are going to be great. Some will be kind of okay, and some will completely miss the mark. So you're just going to want to go through here, and you're going to want to see which names really stand out to you. And as you can see, beside each name, ChatGPT has a little description of why that name was chosen. For example, Erica's Oven, it says simple, warm, classic, feels homey. I don't particularly like that, so I would continue to go through all of these names to find one that really catches my eye to create a short list. So, Baked by Erica, I like that because it's modern, easy for social handles, and catchy. And then names without Erica, for example, I like Butter and Bliss. You're just going to want to go through here. I'm not going to sit here and do this whole process, so I'm just going to say that I want to create just a little short list. Let's explore more on the names. Baked by Erica, Butter and Bliss, and the Sweet Spot. by Erica. Now, your list may be longer or shorter. You may see a name that immediately stands out to you. Yeah, your list may be significantly longer, but just go through these suggestions. If you don't like any of the names, you can go in and say, hey, let's try again, and it will spin up a bunch more names for you. But we'll just stick with these. And so this is a domain handle tip. If you want something easy to claim, check for short handles. So it even says, would you like me to focus on refining Erica-based names or non-Erica creative names? So I'm just going to put in that I like these 3 names, and we're going to see what ChatGPT comes up with. And sometimes it will take a little bit of time. So it takes each name and it tells us the tone, it gives us the vibe, it gives us pros, branding ideas, possible taglines, alternate tweaks. It really goes the extra mile, as you can see. So if you're torn between 2 names or 5 names, it lays it all out for you here. In Butter and Bliss, it's the same thing, super brandable and memorable. Then it even gives us a little table that lets us easily compare at a glance. And then it even asks if it would like to mock up some logo and color palette ideas or tagline and branding directions for these 3 if you want to use that to make your decision. That's the thing that I love about ChatGPT, that even if you feed it a ton of information, it'll always come back and kind of think of something extra. Like, would you like to look at this to compare and to make your decision? It'll always come in with different questions and suggestions and things like that. So even if you feel like your prompt wasn't quite strong enough, it will usually go through in these responses and help bring out more information so that you can really nail the task that you're working on. So I do not want to mock up logo and color palette ideas or tagline and branding directions, because we're going to cover those in future videos. But what I am going to do is I'm going to ask, can you see if any of these options are registered in my state and on social media platforms? So we're basically going to see if these business names are already registered and if there's going to be handles available on social media, because I may love something, but if I have to make a social media handle and then add a bunch of numbers or kind of tweak it, and there's a couple or even just one that's like really similar to mine, you don't really want to deal with that. So I'm just going to see if there's some availability here to help narrow down my decision. So this is what's already in use, Butter and Bliss. So as you can see, there's, already Instagram accounts, there's already social media accounts, website, and things like that. And it goes on to say that people are already using this or close variants in this industry. So there's going to be confusion and brand overlap. So automatically, if I was really doing this, I would X that off my list. So we're going to go to Sweet Spot. There's no clear high-profile bakery called that, but it is a common phrase, so it may show up. Baked by Erica. There's nothing obvious there, it says it's a good sign, but absence does not guarantee it's unregistered or unused. So then you go on and it says that it went to the South Carolina Secretary of State's Business Entities Online and Business Name Search. And it said it's an official way to check whether a name or a similar name is already registered. It did not see in the quick search that any of these are currently registered in South Carolina. But again, then does let us know this is not conclusive, so you'll want to run your own searches. And if you scroll down, you'll actually see that ChatGPT gives you exact instructions for how you can do this, which is pretty cool. So it shows you how to search your state's business registry, do a trademark search, domain and social handle availability, and then you can consult a small business attorney or trademark lawyer. And it will even do a deeper search for you if you want. But based on this information, I feel like Baked by Erica is probably the best of the three that I selected. And so I would probably go with this. I could either continue on with ChatGPT and ask various questions, or I could go through this what you should do next checklist and do my due diligence and see if that really works for me. And if not, I can come back to ChatGPT and look through the list that it already generated. I can ask it for more suggestions and things like that. So once you've kind of went through these steps, there's one final step that I would recommend, and that's to get feedback. Once you have a few favorites, or if you've narrowed it down to one or two, I would go ask for outside opinions, talk to your friends, family, coworkers, or even customers, what they think about it. So you'll really start to notice which ones people remember, and that's usually your winner. Remember, AI isn't here to take away your creativity, it's here to boost it. And when you use it strategically, it can save you hours of work and spark ideas you might never have thought of on your own. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.